and welcome back to Beach Out. Today I am once again at Speedsport over here in Delhi and I am covering one of their other unique car which they have built, which is a car which is very well known to us, but in this specification, at least to me, it's the first time that I've come across it. This is basically a 1-liter Polo TSI which has been given a few very interesting mods. Of course, one of them is a big turbo, but apart from that, there are other mods on this car as well which make it really interesting to drive on the road. So today I'm going to show you this car, go over the mods list and specifications of what all has been done. Now the first thing you would notice on the outside about this car is, again, as it goes with most of the Delhi builds, they look pretty stock till the time you look over here at the wheels. The wheels will mostly always be aftermarket, and this is running a very interesting pattern because these are actually gravel tires, because this is a car which is not only driven on the road but also taken to autocross events. Now when it is being driven on the roads, it doesn't drive with those wheels or those tires, obviously, because they will not provide the optimum grip for normal street conditions. But when it goes to autocross, it uses those tires. And going with that autocross theme, this car also has a massive bash plate which is made in metal. This bash plate, which has this lip on the outside, goes all the way from there all the way down till here, basically protecting the entire underbody all the way up till the transmission. Apart from that, on the outside, it's pretty much a normal white Polo which you will not suspect a lot apart from a few WRC stickers here and there. And this spoiler over here, aftermarket spoiler, which is, I think, I've seen this one on a few Polos before as well. But apart from that, on the outside, there's not much. So to tell you more about the differences about this particular car, we need to pop the bonnet and have a look underneath over here. Now this is where a lot of our perception about a stock Polo changes. Just have a look at this massive intake, this BMC DIA. Look at it, the direct intake is huge. That is just one of the things which is going on over here. Apart from that, of course, being a big turbo car, it's got a IHI Evo turbo. This is basically the same turbo that comes on the VW 1.5 liter cars, basically the Rapid as well as the Vento. They come with this big turbo. Along with that big turbo upgrade, there are also a few other things which have to be installed to make the whole setup go. There's also a turbo smart diverter valve, custom intercooler, which I cannot show you, but behind over here, this thing is running a custom intercooler. Then the few other things that are important about it is, this is running a custom map from Speedsport. And this one, as I said, is tuned more towards the autocross. And that is the reason why this has a few more very interesting modifications to it. Now, those modifications I can't show you, but somewhere underneath over there is a limited slip differential from Cusco, which is also sitting. And also, this car is not running the stock transmission. This is, of course, the 1 liter with a manual transmission, but the manual transmission is also running close ratio gears. This car has slightly shorter gearing, so basically it'll go from first, second, third, fourth, fast, because autocross, you need to turn the car around a lot. You need to have that initial acceleration. It's the initial and mid-range which matters more when you're doing autocross, and for that you need a gearbox which is most of the time always in its power band, ready to put down that power. And to put that power down effectively, because there's a big turbo, there'll be a lot of wheel spin. To put that power down effectively, it's running a limited slip differential. Now this all sounds very nice and good on paper. Of course, there are a few really highly desirable things according to me. Of course, the big turbo, then of course the limited slip differential, which is, I feel, very essential on front wheel drive cars, especially when the power has been upgraded. And the third thing is that close ratio gearbox. But the only way to find out how these things work in harmony with each other and what kind of effect it does in putting the power down, we need to actually take this car out on the road and take it for a spin. Okay, driving the big turbo Polo. Before pulling it and making most of its power, I want to quickly talk a little bit about the suspensions. Coilovers from Gap, they actually feel quite pliant. Now you have to remember that we are not strictly running very street friendly tires. These are gravel tires, so that contributes to a little bit of the shakiness and the undulation that I'm getting. But apart from that, these suspensions feel actually quite pliant. I'm not on the best of Delhi road surfaces. There is a lot of undulation, like for example that breaker over there. So even in these kind of situations, the gap actually feels see, that's what I'm saying. So that wheel spin happened because of those tires, because these are gravel tires, not very compatible to street use. But yeah, that gives you a slight idea of the kind of power this car is putting out. The suspensions are actually nice, very comfortable and very pliant. Now, the main thing is that it would have actually, because of the big turbo, it's actually putting out close to around 200 horsepower, and that wheel spin that you noticed back there could have been a lot more violent and a lot more wild. But that didn't happen because this car is also running a limited slip differential, and that basically tries dividing the power between both sides. Wherever there's slip, it will cut off and it will give power to the other end. So that has basically made a lot of difference in terms of its drivability. Again, this is more of an autocross setup, so the gears are shorter. The close ratio gearbox is basically very specifically built for the autocross, so that where you have a tighter track, where you need to shift faster and get more acceleration out of the car, this is that kind of a build. Now once we hit a slightly open patch of road, I'm going to show you how short that gearbox actually is. Wheel spin, and you can feel the differential distributing power to both sides, and you can hear it a little bit as well. Now this being a 1 liter engine, you do have a little bit of turbo lag. Like for example, if you're around 1500 1800 rpm, there's not a lot, and then it's building, and I think about 2200 2300 rpm is where the boost builds and the car just suddenly shoots ahead. Okay, so I'm doing a rolling pull, currently doing about 2300 rpm, 30 kilometers per hour, second gear, foot down, boost builds, kicks in, hitting red line, shifting to third. Because this is a short shifter, already 5,500, fourth. If you know the latest cars, you know what those beeps mean. We were doing some really good speeds. Now the thing is that the way this car feels, firstly the acceleration is insane. Once you're hitting that boost, then you have a constant surge of acceleration all the way till 5,500 rpm. And apart from that, the gearing is something so unique. I bet you have never ever driven any other Polo like this. It feels like a Go Kart, that's the best way I can put it. It's a Go Kart for the road, where you can actually sit 4 people, go have fun, come back, then put these gravel tires on, set the diff a little differently, and make it a autocross car. That is the brilliance of this machine. Like, if I had this car with me the whole day, I would totally not mind that manual gearbox. I would totally not mind anything else, and I would actually be driving this car the entire day, all the time, despite having other cars as options, because it's fun to drive, it's fast. It's because of that short shifter, it actually accelerates super fast through the gears, and that means that whenever you need any sort of overtaking, the power is right there for you. This is such a fun build. I'm really thankful that I get to drive this very different Polo than anything else that I have driven, and I'm pretty sure you have also come across. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Till then, ciao.